Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Johanna Mar, and if you are new here, I have been documenting my journey on how I lost 100 pounds this year. What I eat in a week has been a highly requested video, so I'm so glad to finally be sharing it with you. So I hope it lives up to the hype. It did take me obviously a week to film, so I'm going to split this up into two parts. But stay tuned for the second part because I'm actually going away this weekend, so I'm going to be talking about how I go on a trip and make healthier decisions. The first thing that I want to mention before diving right in is that I do not believe that you have to eat like a rabbit in order to be healthy. You still need everything in moderation. That means sugar, that means fat as well. So what I like to do is take meals that I love and just find healthier alternatives for some of the ingredients within that recipe. The goal is for you to curb those cravings while also remaining nourished and fulfilled. The second thing I want to mention is that I do not eat breakfast. This is not because I'm intermittent fasting or because I'm starving or depriving myself of breakfast. The truth is I simply just don't get hungry in the morning, and if I eat too much, I start to get nauseous. So I just don't eat breakfast. Don't get me wrong, if I do get hungry in the morning, I absolutely will eat something, but it is just a little bit more rare for me. So you'll notice throughout the video, I will entirely skip over breakfast. That's because I'm not having it. If you do eat breakfast, I would recommend eating the rainbow every opportunity that you can. So a very well balanced, even diet. Oats with some yogurt and fruit, maybe a little bit of honey for something sweet. You could have protein waffles or pancakes. A lot of the stuff you can even meal prep, so it's nice and easy. You can grab it on the way to work each morning, make it a little bit easier and healthier for yourself. I can absolutely mess up a brunch once my stomach has woken up in the morning, and that's something that I'll usually do is maybe have a little bit of an earlier lunch, so it's kind of a brunch situation. Another thing that I want to mention is that I really don't drink anything other than water. So you'll notice throughout the video, I don't really mention what I'm drinking because it usually just is water. Also don't consume caffeine. Every now and then, if I need like a big energy boost, if I'm on a road trip or something, I might have a little coffee. But usually I'll just end up having decaffeinated coffee if I want that. Something that I learned over time was that I was just packing coffee in with like so much sugar and cream and just crap that was terrible for you. And I wasn't even, I wasn't even drinking it for the coffee or for the caffeine. I was just drinking it for the sugar inside of it. So that's something to be aware of when making your coffee in the morning. I also don't really drink alcohol, just really only on special occasions. That was something that started over 75 hard that I kind of just continued doing after the challenges and realized that I don't really like it that much. So I have discovered the world of non-alcoholic or alcohol-free drinks, and that has been really fun. So you might see me enjoy some of those this weekend. Without further ado, let's jump right into Monday. I have an event tonight, so I'm going to show you why I am the charcuterie queen. Here we have some honey, olives, and some fake jam. Add in some pepper jack cheese, American and Gouda cheese. Of course, some more cheese. We have American and Swiss here. Then you guessed it, more cheese. We have blueberry goat cheese, some Boursin, and some different types of brie. And then sprinkle in some fruit. Obviously, it was a big hit. Look how beautiful it is. So here we have ingredients for a smoothie that I'm going to make for lunch. My husband's aunt actually turned me onto this and I thought it sounded so good, so I started making it myself, and she was right because it is delicious. So here we have some raspberries, some blueberries, some spinach, some strawberries, and we're only going to use half a banana. We'll use the other half for another smoothie later on. And then some yogurt here, some Greek yogurt. I do try to do some low or no fat yogurt, but I only had full fat yogurt, so that's okay. But just to make it a little bit healthier, I try to use the lower fat options. I'm also going to put some vanilla protein in here because protein is something that I struggle with personally, so I want to add a little bit extra in. Today for dinner, we are going to be preparing a honey lemon salmon with a side of asparagus and rice. I'm going to be showing you how I prepare each item. However, these are the main ingredients that we have right here that I'm going to be cooking with. I like every part of the meal to be ready at the same time, so I choose the longest things to cook first, such as preheating the oven and boiling the water for the rice. Then I cut up and melt down my butter for the honey butter lemon mixture. Give it a little stir just to mix it up a bit. And then I'm going to zest an entire lemon to give it some of that lemony flavor. From here, I'm going to cut the lemon in half. We are going to use half this lemon to actually put right on top of the salmon as it cooks. And we're going to squeeze the juice from the other half of the lemon right into the mixture. I will never waste any food, so I'm going to put this squeezed lemon right into some water to enjoy while I cook. Add in some honey. I just measure with the heart here, maybe a couple tablespoons. These consistencies are very different, so just be nice and slow when you're mixing them together. Our water is boiling, so I'm adding in the rice. Not too much, it's just the two of us. Then I add in some diced garlic. Normally I would dice this myself, but I was just feeling a little bit lazier today. Add in our mixture. I fold up the sides of the tin foil on the pan just to make sure that none of the juices run out and that as much of it absorbs into the salmon as possible. Our asparagus is nice and washed, so I'm just going to cut off the ugly ends so that we can get cooking. Put the pan on low heat, pour the remaining mixture into the pan, let that heat up for a minute. I stir our rice just to make sure that it is not sticking to the sides of the pan. Then we add in our asparagus, make sure it's nice and evenly spread. And from here, I like to add a lid on top of it just to keep the juices in so that it doesn't dry out too much. Unpopular opinion, maybe I do not add any salt or butter or anything to the rice. It is not the main event of the meal, so this keeps it a little bit healthier. Once our rice is done, I strain the remaining water out of there. Our asparagus looks pretty good, so I usually just end up taking out a piece just to taste it, make sure it is good. And then once it is, take it off the heat and move it to the side. This was perfect timing because our salmon was just about finished. And oh my goodness, it looks perfect. You can see that the tin foil did a really nice job holding everything in. I did take a little bit of a bite in the corner just to make sure it was good, and it tastes perfect. Here it is plated. I usually make about 3 servings of every dinner so that I can give my husband lunch the next day. The salmon was absolutely delicious. It was cooked to perfection. I also tried something a little bit different with the asparagus by putting the same sauce in with the asparagus. And I noticed that more of the honey flavor came out in the asparagus and more of the lemon flavor came out in the salmon. So if you want to follow this recipe, just be aware of that. But I thought it was really great. Ben thought it was really great. So all in all, a win. It is Taco Tuesday, people, one of my favorite days. We don't do this every week, but when we do, I just get extra excited. So here are the ingredients that you will need in order to make tacos. Starting off with some ground beef. I try to get lean, reduced fat beef, just a little bit healthier. We have some gluten-free spinach herb tortillas. My husband does not like these, so I also did get some taco shells for him, but I try to go for this option just a little bit healthier. Half of a white onion. We have our cherubs that we are going to dice up super small to put on top of the tacos, an avocado, some lime, brown rice, again, just a little bit of a healthier option. Doesn't mean that you can't have white rice with it. Some taco seasoning, some garlic powder, some olive oil. We're just going to use that to cook up our ground beef. So much cheese. We will take a while to go through this, but I just restocked this. And then of course some sour cream. Again, light sour cream, just a little bit of a healthier option. So I will walk you through how I'm going to prepare all of this. It is 7 p.m. right now, which is way later than we normally have dinner. Usually we try to have dinner around 6 p.m., but there was a last minute opening in my Pilates studio and I had to take advantage of that class. So I went ahead and did that and got home a little bit later. We do try to eat dinner a little bit earlier for a couple of reasons. One being that it's just a little bit healthier to eat earlier. It's not the best for you to eat a big meal and then go to bed right away. So trying to leave as much time in between dinner and bedtime as possible is healthy for you. If you can even try and get in a little walk after dinner, it helps with your digestion. So that's one reason. The other reason, my husband works really hard. When he gets home, he is hungry. So we like to have dinner a little bit earlier for that reason as well. So while the meat turns brown and the onions turn clear, I am going to show you this amazing contraption. It's basically like a mini budget food processor. So I'm going to put my tomatoes in here and just chop them up into little tiny bits and kind of make like a salsa in a sense. But this thing is amazing. Here I'm adding in some onion powder. I kind of just measure with the heart here. Next we're gonna go and add in some paprika. I decided to spice it up a little bit, maybe a little more. And then lastly, of course, taco seasoning. Definitely a little bit heavier handed here with the taco seasoning. So while the meat and the rice continue to cook, I'll show you what we've done so far. We have cut up our avocado. I also forgot to mention this, but I did cut up some lettuce. You watched me cut up our tomatoes that I'm going to be very careful to show you. Here's some cheese and some lime that I did put on the avocados and a little bit on the tomatoes as well. I also have a little extra just in case you want to sprinkle it over top of everything. I don't know about you, but when I cook, I have to clean as I go. I cannot just Tasmanian devil myself around the kitchen and just leave it until afterwards. I have to clean as I am cooking. So I'm going to do that now while I wait for things to continue to cook. Here is our finished product. We have the meat, the rice, the avocado, the lettuce, all of the toppings that are going to go on. I've gone ahead and prepared this for my husband and this for myself. Everyone likes their tacos prepared a little bit differently, so we're going to do a serve yourself method tonight, and I will let you know how everything tastes. I also keep all of the seasonings out just so that people can doctor it up the way that they want to as well. My husband had the great idea of making a taco salad, so this is what we have here. I also try to make 3 servings just so I can give my husband leftovers to bring to work for lunch tomorrow. Lastly, we tidy everything up and close up the kitchen for the night. Super hungry for lunch today, so I just had about half of the normal size smoothie that I have, but now I'm getting kind of hungry and I decided that I would like to have some almond butter with strawberries. I don't have almond butter, but it is snowing outside, so I'm not gonna risk it and go to the grocery store. What I do have is almonds, so I'm gonna show you how to make almond butter with a food processor. Here we have our food processor and our roasted unsalted almonds. Almonds are a great source of protein. There's about 20 grams of protein per cup of almonds. I added them to the food processor, the entire bag, and I'm just going to put it on low to start. You'll notice after a few minutes it'll have a bit of a crumbly texture to it, but don't worry, after time that will soften up. You might want to take a spoon and just kind of scrape along the side there just to make sure nothing is getting stuck to the sides. You'll notice some natural oils building up here. That will be enough to thicken up your almond butter, but if you don't find that it's thickening up enough, you can add a little extra oil or some honey. Tonight we are having steak salad. I am going to do the salad portion. My husband is going to do the steak portion. He's way better at it than I am. So here we have some romaine lettuce, some spinach, some Brussels sprouts I'm gonna cut up small, some carrots I'm probably gonna shave, a cucumber here that I'll cut up small, some avocado, lemon that I'm gonna drizzle on top. We have some tomatoes here, a bunch of different types of nuts. We have some shaved almonds, some walnuts, some hazelnuts, and some cranberries. Here are some different dressings. I'll probably just use balsamic if the lemon juice isn't enough, and then some Parmesan cheese if we want to sprinkle that on top. So let's get started.
Oh my god, it looks so nice.
That is all for What I Eat in a Week Part 1. Please let me know what you thought down below. Also let me know what else you'd like to see from me because I want to make what you want to see. Please stay tuned for Part 2 where I go on vacation for the latter half of the week and I show you how I eat healthy while I'm away. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. I thank you so much for watching and I wish you a lovely day.